Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela, I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady, and welcome back to another Throwback Friday, and this one is a number 61. I've got a couple of videos for you today, so rather than chatting about them now, I'll chat about them in a few moments. Come on, let's go and see what I got for you today. Okay, so our first video today is the Big and Little Crochet Creative Crochet Projects. What a mouthful. And that is books number 6 through to 10. Now, what I've done with this one is I've just shown you, I've cut into it so much that all you've got is the front covers. Okay, so that will give you a rough idea whether it is a video you would like to go and revisit. Now, if you do, remember the link will be up here for you, so you can just click on that and that will take you through to the books so that it will show you what's inside, rather than sticking it in this one and meaning that this video ends up being 3 hours long. Right, so here we go, books number 6 through to number 10. Right, the names of them are Simple Storage, Luxurious Throws, Summer Fun, Cute Toys for Kids, and number 10 is Awesome Accessories. Right, so let's scoot back to number 6. See, I told you it was quick. What was that, 12 seconds or something? Okay, well, our next video up is a window shopping 3, and this is Hobbycraft UK. Now, so please remember that prices will have gone up since this video was made, and the shop may not stock any of the yarns that you see anymore. So if you're planning to purchase any of them, jump on their website first to have a look before making that trip. So for this window shopping today, we are heading in to Hobbycraft. Now, a local one to me is in Cheltenham, and of course, as you know, I've been taking you around Cheltenham, showing you all the different shops that you can purchase wool in that area. So, and this one is in the Gallagher Retail Park. Okay, that is Cheltenham, and it is a GL of 51 area. So, of course, over the last year and a bit, I have been saying that there is one shop that I believe you need to remortgage before you enter, and that is, I'm sorry to say, a Hobbycraft. Now, they have got a beautiful array of yarns, but for me, I think the majority of the time their prices are a little bit on the high side. Now, I understand that's because they have a shop and they need to cover those sort of costs. So if you see any labels during this video that say Knitcraft, now Knitcraft is their own brand yarn. So they cover Anchor, Burnett, Bonbon, Carlton, DMC, Hayfields, James C. Berwick, Knitcraft, Lily Sugar and Cream, Lion Brand, Paintons, Poppets, Rico Design, Rowan, Cedar, the WI, which is the Women's Institute yarn, and West Yorkshire Spinners. So of course they do have a massive array of yarns. Now let's go and have a look at them, shall we? Now remember, I did cut that last video down quite a chunk, so there is lots more in that store for you to have a nose at. I just chose my favourite bits. Right, and next video up of course is our Whips, Bits and Chat number 60, and yet again I'm cutting into that one to try and keep this video today short. Now on to the bit that might have puzzled some of you. Yes, the mannequin has had a change of clothes. It's taken a year, but she's had a change of clothes. So today I am finally getting around to wearing my watermelon top. Now the pattern information will be in the drop down box of this video, as this was not my pattern to start with, and it certainly isn't my pattern now. I've only changed up a tiny little bit on the collar and added a bit more on the length, so it's definitely not mine. So here we go. I'm going to suck everything in and show you what it looks like. There we go. So it's quite a square pattern. Absolutely love it. And now, because it's warm, look, it doesn't quite cover me bum. I ran out of yarn, but of course now it's summer, I can get away with wearing it for what, the next week, and then we'll have our rain and cold back probably. And then of course the new pattern that is on the dummy is that dress that I've been telling you I was making. Now I ran out of yarn. It is as simple as that. I ran out of yarn. I didn't do my math measurements right when I ordered the cotton last year. And of course now that the price has gone up, which you will know if you've managed to catch hold of the Macleana bubble review that I did a couple of weeks back, I'll stick a link up there for you. That gives you more information about the yarn that was used, and the stitch and the pattern link is also in that video. And I'm just going to stop a second, swap clothes and show you what that one looks like. Right, so here we go. This is what it looks like. Sorry, I'm going to attempt to stand on tippy toes so you can get to see the bottom of the dress as well. Or should I say the top, because this for me is a top, so I will be wearing it with leggings and some nice fancy shoes for the wedding. I really love it. What do you think? Right, so here's the front, and then here is the back. And then it just covers me tush, so I'm proper happy with it. Now what I am going to have to do is either stick some elastic around or something, but give me a second. I'm just going to swap back clothing. Right, so here it is back on the mannequin. Yes, I am cheeky. My mannequin is probably about a size 10, and of course I am at least a 16 to 18. So when it comes to putting items on my mannequin, they will not always look exactly how they do on me. There's no chances there. So when you see the mannequin, her shoulders are a lot thicker, but if you're a thinner person, then you could see what would happen if you made the straps turbo thick, and that's what it would look like. Okay, now on top of that, when I cheekily put my mannequin on, it is held together with pegs. It is held back with pegs. So yes, there's quite a bit of extra fabric that has had to be made to cover my tush. Right, so the changes I made on the original pattern, let's bring it up close so you can have a look at the colour variant. Okay, this is not going to be the best, I know. I'm going to have to move it around a bit. Okay, so when I made the cake, I used 2 cakes of the Macleana bubble, and the first part of the outfit starts here. Okay, so when you're working top down ish. So you start off here and you build up your bodice. Now for my bodice, I ended up adding in extra rows because I'm a lot longer than Anu. So I added in extra rows here, and then when she came to start the decrease on the actual pattern of the skirt, that is when I started following along again, and then I worked it down. Now when I got to the end of the very first black row, that is when my first cake gave up on me, and there was no more. It wasn't magic anymore, it disappeared into the work. So my second cake, instead of working from the inside of the cake again, I started working from the outside because the outside had the pink. So then I worked from this section here, I worked up and did both straps, and then when the cotton changed to the second row of colour here, okay, so it dropped one of the pink and it had picked up one of the black, or the brown I should say, is actually a brown. that's where I cut it off from the cake, and I started working up the second section from here. And then I kept going with the cake until, cracky, sorry about that, get back here you. Right, so then I started working from the second cake and carried it all on until I finished the end. And of course, with each additional row that you do, you end up using more yarn, which is why my second section of the cake, which is from here to here, didn't really make up as much as I was hoping for. Oh, my arm's going to fall off. So there is the bottom of the dress. It's really nice. It's really quite free flowing once it is put on. And I think that if you had the yarn to do it, it definitely would look absolutely stunning. Now, I think another thing that I could have done to change up this pattern slightly for me so that I'd have got more length in it was, and when I'd finished the body, maybe I should have gone up an extra couple of hook sizes, because I do crochet tight. So if I'd have gone up a couple of extra hook sizes, you still wouldn't have been able to see me undies through it, but I would have got more length. And that's something I learned from watching our Reggie. Also, an additional thing that I did to the pattern once completed was on the back section. I did a single crochet, but instead of working on the front of the fabric, I worked on the back, and it's given me a beautiful detail, and it looks like it's been hemmed on a sewing machine. Well, that's my take. So I've done that single crochet across the back of the dress, and I've also done it all the way around the bottom. So I'm going to have to bring it back over to show you. I am such a ditz today, such a ditz. So stay there and stay up. Right. Right, so let me just pull that slightly over for you. Hopefully you'll be able to see that quite neatly when I bring it up close. So yeah, as I was saying, I worked it the single stitch all the way along the back panel here, which has given this a lot neater edge in my opinion. When it was left, it looked like a bit of a rope edge, whereas this way it's given it a bit more stability for the last top section, because it was starting to curl for me. And of course I do also intend to run a bit of elastic around this section so that it holds it in for me as well, because again, once I've made it and I've worn it a few times, it will slightly stretch out a little bit, and it is a little bit loose as well at the moment. But there we go. So this one now is going to be sitting up here for a little while until the next clothing item is made, which of course won't be one of my patterns quite yet, because I'm still a bit wary about it. It looks quite good there, doesn't it? So that dress was my first completed, and yes, I did notice I have a strand that I still need to sew in under the armpit. I will get to it, and it will be done before the wedding. I'll probably do it once I finish this video while I still remember. Right, and on to my next item. I can't show you that one because it's going out as a gift, and I know the individual watches the channel, so I will be showing you a photograph that I've taken of it at a later point. Right, and next up is what else have I been up to this week? Well, of course I did tell you on the last week's Whips and Bits, and of course on the live, that I've been out doing shopping with my daughter, trying to find the outfit for her prom. Now of course I've got a tomboy, and my tomboy does not want to wear a dress. There is absolutely no way I'm going to get that girl in a dress. Even so much as she said that when she gets married she will be wearing the suit and she will get the husband to be to wear the dress. So I've told her find someone that's Scottish. So, I love the Scottish accent. Right, so what we did was we actually went out shopping on Wednesday. And we went to Gloucestershire this time, into Gloucester, to have a look down the main high street there, because it is a little bit bigger than the Cheltenham. Not by much, because Cheltenham have got more side roads. But we popped into Gloucester and we started going in and out of every single shop again. And going up to the counter, asking the staff whether they have any suits, them saying no, us saying thank you very much, and leaving. So we have done most of Gloucester, and we got as far as getting to Primark. Now of course I didn't bother going in Primark when I went to Cheltenham, and I had said that knowing my luck, the suit would be in there, but I really didn't think it would happen. So I've said to my daughter, okay, fine, we will go into Primark, we will have a look, but don't expect to find anything in there. It's not really something that I would expect you to find. Well, they've had to close one of their doors off because a glass panel had been broken in it, so we had to walk all the way around the outside, and by this point I'm on painkillers and my back and my sciatica are kicking off big time. So we've walked all the way round, gone in through the back door, walked all the way through the store trying to find a member of staff that wasn't working with somebody or helping somebody, and all of a sudden we found ourselves back up by the front door. And my daughter has just stopped still, arms gone out pointing, and she's gone, "It's that one, Mum." And I'm like, "You what?" She's gone, "That one." And she's just sped over to where the suits were actually being hung up, and she has found her suit. Yes, finally. And of all things, it's coming out under 45 quid. So she is super chuffed. I'm super chuffed because she also wants to put embellishments on it. She wants to hand sew a design on. So it's the first time she's ever done hand sewing onto an actual item of clothing. So she's got an old t-shirt that she's practicing on at the moment. And then later on today, we're going to be popping back into Cheltenham to go and get her a hoop so that she can, like a darning hoop, so she can put the stretch the material over and work on it properly and do it all properly rather than just making do. So once she gets that done and it's worn and she loves it and all the rest of it, I will grab a photograph of the suit and show you it, because of course her artwork is way better than mine, way better. Now time for a little guest appearance from a cheeky Pipsqueak the cat and Liam the dog, as I know some of you are missing out on these guys at the moment because there's no bed for Liam to lay on. Pippi, how am I meant to do any sort of recording when you're sitting here purring next to the microphone? Get off my table, woman. Pippi, get off the table. Well, that was so sweet, seeing a guest appearance from Pipsqueak. Now, for any of my new crazies, you won't get to see Pipsqueak because she had an argument with a car during last summer and lost. I put it like that because she was a nightmare for it. She used to lay in the middle of the road outside our house, and we live on a T-junction. All the neighbours knew about her. All the neighbours would be endlessly beeping at her as she would stand, get up and slowly walk to the to the side and give them daggers because she had to move out of their way. But she actually got hit further into the estate up near the shops. Luckily it was seen, she was scooped up, she was taken to the vets, which was under 20 yards away from where the accident happened, and she actually passed away in that person's arms, getting a fuss as they were walking to the vet. So it was very short, very sharp, very quick, and of course she was hugged on her way out. So although it's upsetting, there's a positive spin to it. For a little extra that I haven't added in for a while, which is your questions and answers to them. So I'm going to have a quick nose through all my comments over the last month and see what questions you girls came out with and see if I can answer them for you. Oh, wish me luck. So the first one is from Mrs. Bradshaw. I'm going to call you that, honey. I can't pronounce your first name today. It starts with a V and it's confusing me. Right. I will get it another day. So our gorgeous Bradshaw, she is saying that she loved the yarn, which was that dress, and she was wondering whether if it's compatible with the Centelli. Now I'm really lucky, I've got some, so what I'm going to do is pop my other camera up, drop down, and I'm going to show you the difference between the two, and then that means that you've got more of a chance to make a decision. Right, so here you go. I have got the both ball bands for the two different ones. Sorry, the only bits I've got left of the McLeaner are in fact scraps. So I've undone a little attempted rose that I made because I didn't like it, and now I'm going to compare the two, and I'm going to be cheeky. I'm not going to pull out too much of my candy because I haven't actually taken it out of the bag yet. So if we pop these two against each other, Okay, so here we go. The pink and white one is the Macleana bubble, and the blue one is the Centelli candy. Now, first impressions are they look completely different. The Macleana bubble, of course, is more lightly spun, and because I've worked this, it has actually unspun quite a bit. So this one is a lot looser than this spun. So this one is still made using lots and lots, let me pull it apart, of little strands of yarn. Okay, so we've got, what have we got? Quite a few in there. Sorry, let's bring that up. Quite a few different strands there, and as I said, it is spun quite nicely. Okay, when you spin this one how it's meant to be spun, of course it undid for me. So when comparing the two thicknesses of the yarn, the Centelli is thicker than the Macleana. Okay, so that gives you an idea. You may need to go up a hook size if you were using the Centelli to the other one. Right, the second question I came across is to do with the unicorn pillow, which is the unicorn cow #03. Now they were asking to make it larger, just increase the row count. Okay, and I have said you can increase the unicorn pillow that way, or you can upsize your yarn and hook size like some of the other girls have done over in America, and that will give you a larger unicorn body. But remember, if you're upsizing the body, make sure you upsize the ears and the horn as well. Okay, so that way it all still looks the same and you don't end up with a big pillow and a silly little unicorn horn. Oh bless Lynn, you had me cracking up with this next one. It is in regards to a window shopping video number 2. You're asking me, or you're saying, right, your comment is, are you saying this is an option you have when shopping for yarn locally? That's your question. Technically yes, it's really hard to do, mind, really hard. It's a case of record it and run for me, rather than record it, pick up a basket and shop. Right, and then Denise popped a comment on my move day video asking me if I'd found any forgotten treasures. I found one ball of yarn that I'd completely forgotten about, which was this sparkly one here. And I found a box of incomplete whips. That's the worst bit of moving the room. I'd stashed all the whips I'd had enough of into the back of one of the cupboards, and when I pulled it out, I now have a big bag full that I've got to finish off before I can even get round to putting it to one side and say I'll get to that later and sew in the ends. There's about 6 or 7 in there. Help! Now Cindy H was also cheeky with her comments on this one, on that video. She had said, is it really a mattress on the bed, or is it just literally more yarn underneath the bedspread? Don't get me wrong, I have seen videos of people where they've got a bed frame and then they've just loaded it up with tote boxes and then put more yarn on top, and yes, that would be something I would do. But in this case, no, it's a flip bed, so you lift the mattress up at the end and you shove it all underneath. But luckily for me, I'd filled that up with all of my daughter's leftover bits that she'd left when she went to uni. I shoved it all in there, so there was actually no room for yarn. If there was, oh crikey, could you imagine it? I'd probably end up with 3 shelves. Right, so that's it for all the cheeky questions you girls have asked. Now remember, pop a question in the comments section. I really don't mind. I love reading all comments that you pop down. I haven't done one of them answer your questions for a very long time. I think I might do it. So keep an eye out on Sunday's Whips and Bits, and if I remember, I'll do it. Right, that is it for me for today. I hope you've enjoyed this little look back. I will see you again really soon. So if you can, please stay in and definitely stay safe. Ta-ra for now, everybody.